driving from June 14, 2020. This is case number 22 CR 007195. The instructions based upon your prior notice was that you had to appear in person. Right? Subject to any further changes by the court, you are always going to be required to appear in person. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The prosecutor for this case is Mr. Rita Githia, and in an abundance of just getting prepared, Public Defender's Office had pre-filled the application for you to submit. You do have a right to remain silent about the facts of the case. Anything you choose to say, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one could be appointed to represent you. Or you can choose to hire your own private attorney or waive your right to counsel and represent yourself. If you choose to represent yourself, you are responsible for understanding how the law applies to the facts of your case and the consequences from any legal decision that you make.
Yes.
From perspective of an attorney, how would you like to proceed?
I would like to try to get an attorney or a public defender.
All right. So you were previously arrested on a bench warrant. Did you attempt to get counsel at that time?
Can you clarify, counsel?
Were you arrested in this case
I was.
on a bench warrant?
Yes,
All right. That was for your failure to appear in court.
correct.
After that incident, did you make any attempts to get an attorney?
I did not because I didn't have a job for a while.
Okay. I'm going to reset this case for what we call the final plea calendar. You have the form,
I have my phone,
form for the Public Defender's Office.
form.
Yeah. Did you fill that out?
I did. Officer
Okay.
brought it up.
You're going to make a copy of it. You're going to take the original.
Okay.
All right. At the top, it's got the instructions to whom you send the application form to. Do I have anyone from PD's office here? No, I don't. It's got 2 emails there. You send them to both and you follow up with those emails.
Okay.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
That is your application to see if the Public Defender's Office will qualify you and represent you. All right. If they don't, then you need to hire your own attorney or you can choose to represent yourself. Your next court date is going to be November 3rd, and that's going to be in person at 1:30 p.m. And that's going to be what we call a final plea calendar. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, I'm going to ask the prosecutor if she has a recommended sentence if you want to consider pleading guilty today.
Okay.
All right. Ms. Githia?
Yes, Your Honor. The state's offer is for the driving in circular or zigzag course, laying drags, is 12 months probation, a $700 fine, and to stay away from Tony's Sports Bar located at 10305 Medlock Bridge Road in Johns Creek. And for the reckless driving, it will merge into count 1.
Did you understand that, Mr. Jackson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you understand that if you decide to accept this plea offer, you'll be only pleading guilty to laying drag, and the reckless driving charge will be merged. In other words, you won't be pleading guilty to that. They're required to be on probation, to pay a $700 fine, and to stay away from, well, Tony's Sports Bar. Would you like to consider that offer, or would you still like to have a reset date to consider counsel?
I would like to still get a reset date.
Okay. The reset date is November 3rd at 1:30 p.m. Considered a final plea calendar. You either appear, like I said, with an attorney or with PD, or choose to represent yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're free to go now. Thank you.
Thank you.
And make sure you get time off from work. Thank you. All right, I'm going to call the final plea. Well, let me first address my show cause calendar. Elder Trejo, middle name Iridian. Elder Trejo. Attorney Carlos Mucha. All right. Yes, Ms. Githia.
So the state requests the bench warrant.
Did you ever speak to Attorney Mr. Mucha?
I emailed him yesterday.
All right. I'll hold off on the request for a bench warrant until the close of the calendar. Ronald Batiste, Mr. Clifford Hardwick.
He's on Zoom, Your Honor.
Yeah, Mr. Hardwick, if you please unmute. It's a little microphone at the bottom. Maybe Ms. Hairston's available to assist.
Hello, Judge.
Oh, that works. Okay.
Judge, can you hear me?
Yes. Are you using a separate device? That's okay. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm just acknowledging that I'm here on behalf of Mr. Batiste. Mr. Batiste is also on the Zoom.
I see him. Yes. And how would we like to proceed? Was this going to be a plea?
Judge, I've been in communication with Ms. Gutierrez. I received an offer on yesterday. We would like to place this case on a trial calendar. My client resides in San Francisco, just had surgery, which prevented his ability to fly, unexpected surgery, which prevented his ability to fly across the country to be here in person, which is what had been planned. But counsel indicated that she had obviously no objection to our placing this matter on the trial calendar, which is our request today.
So your client is pleading not guilty and you requesting a trial?
Yes.
Okay. This is going to be a jury trial. It's probably going to be in January of 2024. We don't have the dates yet. Mr. Batiste will have to appear in person at the original calendar call date. And then after that, he'll be given a time and date to return for the trial. We normally set aside a 4-day trial calendar on week 1, and then a continuation of the trial calendar on, I don't remember which week, but he would need to be available to see whether his case goes to trial. A case management order will be issued today, and we will see him in on or about January 2024.
All right, Judge.
All right.
Thank you.
In the meantime, if you and your client decide to accept the plea offer or something to that effect, I will not foreclose a plea in absentia if your client is inclined to do that.
I very much appreciate that, Judge. We will work toward that end.
All right. Thank you, sir. See you then.
Thank
You're
you.
free to go.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Mr. Batiste, you're free to go. Thank you. This case is reset for a jury trial. Brianna Butler.
Mr. Court, Antonio Thomas from the.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Are we addressing a plea today?
No, Judge.
If you'd like to have a seat, the microphone should be working right in front of you.
So can she sit with me?
She can sit with you too. Yes, definitely. You might want to take the middle chair since that's closest to the microphone. All right, Ms. Githia, Mr. Butler is present in the courtroom with his client. And yes, Mr. Thomas, how are we proceeding?
Not guilty. And we will not accept the, I think that was an offer,
Okay, what was the offer, by the way?
probation. I don't remember to extent to which.
Ms. Githia, what is the terms of the offer for Mr. Butler?
12 months probation, a theft prevention class, and restitution of $45 to Kim Tran, and to stay away from luxury nails. Balance suspended upon completion of the conditions.
So she pays $45 and the probation ends.
Correct. And, oh, and a theft prevention class and attend that, yes.
I'm sorry, what was that? Theft prevention class?
Yes,
Okay, so theft prevention class, pay $45, probation ends. Was that the offer you received?
I don't remember, Judge.
Okay, would you like to speak to your client?
Oh, no, we are clear. Ms. Butler did not commit the offense.
Okay, no,
Was not at the place and presented herself.
not a problem, not a
So
problem.
we are prepared to go to trial on this.
Okay, so the case is going to be reset for a jury trial. And a case management order will issue. It's probably going to be on or about January of 2024. And just to let Ms. Butler, you are legally presumed innocent of the charge. And upon your entry of the not guilty plea, which I'm assuming that's what you're doing, your case will be scheduled for trial. At the time of the trial, the prosecution has the complete burden to prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If the prosecution prevails and overcomes your legal presumption of innocence, you could be sentenced to up to a year in prison and or up to $1,000 fine. Given this information, we're still proceeding with a not guilty.
Yeah, and with
Okay.
the trial by jury.
Trial by jury, got it? Okay. Anything else, Mr. Thomas?
I would note because apparently there was some issue with my leave of absence. I announced that when I appeared before this court, and Your Honor accepted it and said the case will be placed in September calendar, but it came back twice. And so I just want to state that I had announced that if for some reason the leave of absence notice was misfiled, but I had announced it here in open court, Judge, and I also will announce that
All right, let me,
another leave be filed. If it had not been filed, it would be through January 15th.
all right, so, yeah, I see quite a few. It was reset for jury trial requested. And then it was further notice to August 8th.
And what I'm saying,
Yeah,
Judge,
well, hopefully this will be it then.
excuse me,
Definitely. So hopefully this will be it. It'll be scheduled for the next trial calendar. And we'll take it from there. I'm not certain.
but I'm also noting again, because I noted it when I appeared on last time that there was a leave. Unfortunately, for some reason, it was not in the system at the time. But I'm also noting now that I'll be on leave through.
Do you have an e-file account?
I understand that, Judge, but I'm also just letting the court know at this time.
Mr. Thomas, that's fine, but I need your leave of absence filed into the record.
Understand.
All right, so when shall I expect that?
You should expect it Monday.
Monday? All right, on Monday, I expect your leave of absence to be filed, but so that if there's a conflict with the trial calendar, we can reconcile it accordingly.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's why I'm stating now, because if I file it and you've already set the date, then that may be a problem. So
okay,
I will file it by Monday.
excellent. Thank you. You're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Next position I have is position 3, that's already been reset to November 3rd, final plea calendar. Then I have Eric Schmidgall.
Yeah, I don't know where my representation is.
Who's your client? Jay Wong?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you want to give him a call?
Yes,
he might be out in the hall. When I called him, he was getting on the elevator.
okay.
All right, let's give it a few moments.
Okay, Judge Law,
Yes, Ms. Gethia?
it appears that Attorney Wall went to Judge Roth courtroom, and maybe there was some type of miscommunication, and they told him to come back on Monday. So he had got in his car and left. So he's on his way back, and he says about a 15 to 20-minute drive.
Okay,
Okay,
He's coming back though.
okay.
yes, sir. Ms. Gethia, is Mr. Wall and his client taking a plea today?
Yes, I'm doing the plea paperwork right now.
Okay,
We worked it
appreciate
out.
it. And then just go ahead and email those to Ms. Essen Smith.
Okay,
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
you're welcome.
You're here, that's good. Do you need a moment to confer with your client? But,
I need about 4 minutes.
okay, not a problem.
Just leave it.
And
No, that's okay. We understood the little snafu.
I'm still.
Ms. Kathia, Mr. Wall is conferring with this client and will be with us shortly, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
I sent the plea documents via DocuSign, and I also sent a copy to Ms. Essence, so whichever one is more convenient.
Let me pull up your papers.
What are we doing?
He said he was missing the OR number code. Yes.
All right, Ms. Gutierrez, we are going to proceed with State versus Eric Schmidt-Gall, case number 21 CR 004.
1 second, Your Honor. I do apologize. 1 second.
No problem. Yeah, counsel and your client, if you please be at the podium.
And let me know when I need to swear him in, please.
All right, thank you.
Sorry about that, Your Honor. That was actually Attorney Judy Kim for the case on the show cause calendar. And
Okay,
I just gave her the link.
all right, thank you. All right, let's proceed with State versus Eric Schmidt-Gall, case number 21 CR 0044328. Mr. Schmidt-Gall is present with his counsel, Mr. Jay Wall, in the courtroom, and prosecutor Sarita Gutierrez is appearing via Zoom. Schmidt-Gall, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say about the facts of the case, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to counsel and your attorney has appeared. So for purposes of this hearing, may I place you under oath? Oh, your attorney can administer the oath.
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
I did.
You put your hand down. Please tell the court your full legal name.
It's Eric Don Schmidgall.
Okay, as a middle name, Don. Okay, understood. Thank you. All right, Mr. Schmidt-Gall, we're first going to hear from the prosecutor. I understand that this would be a plea to 1 count of DUI per se, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. And so, Ms. Gutierrez, if you'd like to articulate your recommendation.
Yes, Your Honor. For the DUI alcohol per se, it is 12 months to serve 24 hours, credit for time served 24 hours, balance probated, a $600 fine, 40 hours of community service, risk reduction program, alcohol drug evaluation and any required treatment, attend 1 victim impact panel, and a 1-year license suspension. For the failure to maintain lane and the DUI alcohol less safe, they will be null prosecuted.
All right. And even though you are requiring a 1-year license suspension, is the state in agreement with a affidavit of first conviction, which will allow him limited driving privileges?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Schmidt-Gall, excuse me, Mr. Wall, is your client in agreement with these terms? And do you stipulate to the factual basis, venue, and ID?
Yes, and yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Schmidt-Gall, have you consumed any medication or alcohol recently?
No, ma'am.
That's it. She's asking if you're under the influence of any alcohol or drug.
Oh, no, ma'am.
And I just lost my train of thought. So I do beg your pardon. And have you understood the proceedings so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with your attorney services?
I am.
And is anyone forcing you or inducing you to take this plea offer today?
No, ma'am.
Have you gone over the plea documents with your attorney?
I have.
And have you understood his explanations?
I have.
And just to reiterate, if you decide to enter a guilty plea to the DUI per se count, you would have to give up your constitutional right to a trial before a judge or jury. You will lose the right to confront your accuser, challenge the evidence and the witnesses brought before you, to present any defenses or mitigating factors if you choose to do so, and have the state try to prove the original charges against you beyond a reasonable doubt. Are you prepared to give up these rights?
I am.
All right, and has it been explained to you that entering such a plea will have an impact upon your license and your driving history record?
It has.
And it may have an impact upon your job, upon any professional licenses you have, upon any open cases you have, and upon your residency, if applicable.
I understand.
And you understand that this plea forecloses any right to file an appeal.
I do.
How do you plead to one count of DUI per se?
Guilty.
Your sentence is 12 months to serve 1 day, credit for time served 1 day. The remainder of the time you'll be on probation. While on probation, you will report to the probation office next Thursday, which will be before 3 p.m. at 132 Mitchell Street in downtown Atlanta. Is probation still in play? I don't know whether he's completed all these conditions.
He has completed a number of almost all of them except for the mad victim impact panel.
I repeat this?
I think he has completed everything except the victim impact panel.
Okay, so you may have.
He may have done everything. I'm sorry.
All right, so I'm going to go through the conditions, sir, and you can either let me know if you completed them, or your attorney you can confer with your attorney, okay? So you pled guilty to DUI per se. As I was saying, you report to probation next Thursday before 3 p.m. And this requirement is in place in order to make sure that you've completed all the conditions of your sentence and that there are no other requirements. So let's see. As I was saying, you'll be on probation to pay a $600 fine. Has that been done?
Not yet.
Okay. You'll need to complete 40 hours of voluntary community service at any nonprofit agency, a 501c agency that is not a school and not a church. Has that been completed?
It has.
And do we have a letter to attest to the completion?
We do.
All right, on the company letterhead and so forth.
Should be, it's the hour sheet from.
Yeah. You did the recycling center.
Mhm.
Yeah, he did it at the Cherokee County Recycling Center. We have his signed off sheets from the supervisors.
Okay. You'll need to present that to the probation officer, or if you have a copy to present it to Ms. Githiea, the prosecutor, we can see if it's approved. All right. You need to do a risk reduction program.
He has done that.
All right. And you have a certificate to that effect?
We do.
The alcohol and drug evaluation and treatment?
I have a copy of the evaluation. I think he has completed the treatment, but I don't have that with me.
Okay. And attend one victim impact panel.
Yeah, I did the online one.
He may have.
You have to do it through the probation program.
Okay.
And you've agreed to 1 year license suspension, but you'll be granted limited driving privileges as I've granted you the affidavit of first conviction. The limited driving privileges only allow you for necessary driving such as work, school, medical treatment, church, and to go to and from court. All right. Everything else is somebody else has to drive you, which is not such a bad thing. All right. And the failure to maintain lane and the DUI less safe, both those charges are going to be null pros. In other words, the state's not going to pursue prosecution for those charges. Any questions, Mr. Wall?
No, you're on.
All right. As I was saying, if you have the documents and the certificates with regards to all the conditions, please have them printed and submit it to your probation officer when you see him or her next Thursday. All right.
Yes, Your Honor.
And with regards to the victim impact panel, you can present what you've completed and see whether that's an acceptable program to probation. Otherwise, you would have to complete that with probation. Any objection to non-reporting, Mr. Githiea?
No objection.
All right. If all these conditions have been checked off by your probation officer, then your probation may be non-reporting. But the first report date has to be in person.
Understood.
Any questions?
No, you're on.
All right, thank you. You're going to make a copy of this probation form. It's got the address at the top. You might want to write down the date and time. Ms. Smith?
Right there.
And Mr. Schmidt-Gall, do you have your driver's license?
We
Yes,
said-
it's-
Oh, you have it? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right. Here it is, Ms. Hess. All right, Mr. Wall, thank you very much. And once you've received your copies, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I apologize again.
No apology required. I'm just going to blame it on Judge Roth. Don't worry about it. All right, thank you.
I'm gonna get your affidavit from you.
All right, Ms. Kim, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Judge. I've
All
got my
right.
client Elder Trejo on as well.
All right, excellent. Mr. Trejo, please start your video. All right, I got him. Thank you. All right, this is Elder Trejo, 21 CR 7822D, accused of DUI, failure to maintain lane, and reckless driving. Yes, Ms. Kim, how would your client like to proceed today? This is their final plea calendar.
Judge, I just received discovery, I believe yesterday, and the offer, if I could have one last final, just so I could review it with my client, and then hopefully we'll get a resolution. If we need to file a waiver of jury, we can do that as well if needed.
Okay,
And Your Honor, this was on the show cause calendar.
understood. Since he has appeared and his attorney has appeared, I'm going to set aside any other issues. And I understand that he was arrested pursuant to a bench warrant. So, Mr. Trejo, you need to update the court with your current address. Anytime you change your address and contact information, you need to inform the court's clerk's office. You are supposed to report at 1:30 p.m. It is 2:24 p.m. You're almost an hour late.
Judge, that is my fault, and I apologize. I just saw it on there and the ASG was kind enough to send me the link. I was in court all day yesterday, so I apologize for that, and I did not get notice of this. I apologize.
All right, Mr. Trejo, you're very fortunate. Your attorney is going to take the brunt of it, but I'm letting you know that you are equally responsible for showing up. And this is going to be a final reset to November 3rd at 1:30 p.m. And Ms. Kim and Mr. Trejo, this must be an in-person matter, no more Zoom.
Will that be at the courtroom between the regular courthouse and the state court?
It is 160 Pryor Street. We are right on Pryor. It's known as J3 or the Charlie Khan's building in courtroom G33.
G33.
You normally have to enter through 136 Pryor through security and then make your way to 160 Pryor.
Okay, it's at that tunnel area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not quite a tunnel, but feels like it sometimes.
Okay, we'll be in person, Judge. Thank you so
All
much.
right. Thank you. Y'all are free to go.
Thank you.
Okay, position 1, Batiste is reset for a jury trial. Position 2, Butler is reset for a jury trial. Position 3 is reset final plea November 3rd. Position 4 was a plea, and show cause calendar Trejo is reset for final plea November 3rd. Anything else, Ms. Gibbier?
No, Your Honor, that's all.
All right, you have a great weekend.